Comics Review. I'm your host, Kevin Starkey, and let's go ahead and get right to it. The first comic I want to talk about today is Michael Chiklis' Pantheon, issue 2 and 3 from IDW Comics. And the writer is Mark Andreyko, and the artist is Stephen Molnar. Now, I talked about issue number 1, I guess a month or two ago, and I liked it a lot, but I didn't know where the story was going to go. It sort of left you, not knowing what the story was really going to be about. In issues 2 and 3, you find out a lot of that. Basically, the Michael Chiklis character is Zeus, the Greek god Zeus, and he's teamed up with a human. His name's Hamilton, Finch, and Hamilton's going to show him around New York City and help him find the other Greek gods. They're going to do battle with some. Actually, it's like Medusa and her sisters, and it's pretty neat. It's kind of fun. If you know the Greek mythology, you'll enjoy it. If you like action, adventure, it's a lot of fun. There's some gory stuff in it, but I'm really enjoying this comic. It's just fun, the artwork is great. It's really great artwork. The color is great. It inspires me. I want to draw after I've read them. I'm really having fun with this one. You probably know Michael Chiklis from The Shield, or from, he was in that show The Commish, and he was the Thing in the Fantastic Four movies. So I'm definitely sticking with that comic. It's a lot of fun, and I think I would definitely recommend it if that sounds interesting to you, that concept. The next comic I want to talk about is Human Target. This is by DC Comics. It's based on the TV show. This is issue number 5, and I've stuck with this since issue number 1. It's a lot like the TV show. The TV show was actually based on the Human Target comic that was out before the TV show was, and it was a lot different. I got into it from the TV show and realized it was completely different than the TV show, the old comic. So this comic, though, is based on the TV show. It's just like the characters from the show are in here, and it's a lot of fun. It's him helping a mobster get from Italy to DC to turn state's evidence, and he's an elderly guy, and his daughter is along for the ride too. And his daughter doesn't really want him to be doing this, and they have to stop off in all these different cities because he's hidden his journals that have all the evidence that he's going to use in different cities. And the Chance's job is to get him from city to city, find these journals, and get them safely to DC. And in this issue, a big reveal happens that you kind of, if you stuck with it, you kind of saw it coming. And it's kind of cool. It's just a fun action-adventure comic. And if you like the show, if you like that whole concept, you'll probably love this comic. The artwork's really good in it. The colors are really nice. I'm having a lot of fun with it. There's one issue left, and I will definitely be picking that up next month. Alright, the next comic I want to talk about is the Expendables. It's by Dynamite Entertainment, issue number 2. Last month I talked about issue number 1, and how this summer the movie The Expendables is supposed to come out. And there's a lot of action stars in that movie. Jason Statham, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li. I mean, it's just full of action stars from the 80s and 90s. And it looks like it's going to be a fun movie, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to pick up the comic and see, get a heads up on the movie. And the first issue, I didn't like it. I didn't think the artwork was that good, and the story was really hard to follow. It jumped around from character to character, and it was really hard to know who was who, and you'd get back to one scene and forget who these characters were, and it was just really hard to follow. This issue is the complete opposite. I loved it. The artwork is pretty much the same, but now I sort of can follow it, and I definitely see where they're going with it, and it's a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the next one, and I can't wait for the movie this summer. So it's an action adventure comic, just like Human Target was, but I mean, it's a completely different story, obviously. But it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. I definitely can't wait for the next one. And the last comic I want to talk about today is Nemesis. This is from Icon Comics. The author of this is Mark Miller, who also did Kick-Ass, the movie that just came out not that long ago. And the artist on this is Steve McNiven. And I read this is issue number 2. I read issue number 1 about a month or 2 ago, and actually I think it was 2 months ago, because I kept waiting for issue number 2 to come out, and they kept telling me it's been delayed or whatever at the comic book store. So I was eager to get this and see what was going, where this story's going to go. I've heard a lot of people compare it to Batman and say it's like if someone had Batman's money and skills and they went evil or they became a super villain. That's sort of what Nemesis is. And this issue number 2, you get to see some of his past, what led him to where he's at, and learn a little of his backstory, and that's kind of cool. And it's just a fun, exciting action comic. There's some blood, some gore in it. If you like to kick ass, if you like Punisher, that sort of stuff, I think you'll definitely enjoy this comic. I sure am, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. That's all for this week. Please leave a comment on YouTube or on my blog at twodognight.net, and I will see you next week. Have a good week. Take care. Bye-bye.